Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Cover 4 podcast. As Randy Gibson and I gonna hash over a bunch of stuff, and we're gonna start with what he saw Saturday. And first things first, some changes in the offensive staff. Former Muskogee Rougher, former head coach at North Texas, and was the co-offensive coordinator, Seth Luttrell, was given his marching orders uh, Sunday by head coach Brent Venables. And Joe John Finley is going to start calling the plays, along with another coach going to take over as a co-offensive coordinator. So you were at the game Saturday because homecoming, and to say it was ugly would be the proverbial rash understatement.
Oh my gosh, Jim, it was horrible. Offense. Honestly, I have not seen, and many others had the same sentiment. We have not seen such poor offensive play from Oklahoma since the John Blake era of
Mm-hmm.
the 90s.
Yeah.
Bad. It's been bad all year.
Yes.
And I understand we've had the injuries, the wide receiver room, which was lining up to be one of the best in the country, is, top five out. So, you know, I get it, but there's still guys, even the guys that they bring in who are freshmen, true freshmen, have got to be able to catch a football.
Yeah.
And the offensive line, I mean, how many games and since last season are we going to talk about, well, they're injured, they're injured, they're injured? Do they not have anybody? They brought in all those guys from the portal, supposed to be stronger. Beatonbow, he's a good coach. I mean, he's got how many guys in the NFL
Yeah.
that are starting? But
Mm-hmm.
my goodness gracious, between the offensive line play and the tight end play and the wide receiver play, there's nothing there. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely nothing. It's terrible. And I think we just, I know Brent did not want to make a change in the middle of the season. It's not a good look. You and I talked about this last week. My concern is going to be recruiting and losing players to the portal from the offensive side of the ball. It's just, we said there's a lot of trouble in Norman, and getting rid of the trail was a step that was going to be necessary. I don't know if this season's even salvageable at this point with
Well,
the
you and
on
I
the
talked.
offensive side.
Yeah. You and
Not
I.
not with the schedule they've got left. I mean,
Yeah.
the only game that's up for even considered of a win is Maine. Uh, you know, they that's the only one they're given the chance to win.
Yeah.
And they've
And the
got the
rest
new
of them
off.
are less than 40%.
Well, yeah, because I mean, my goodness, you've got the schedule was already brutal,
Right.
and now you've got left Ole Miss, Alabama, Missouri, LSU, and Maine. I,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to do at that point? We were sitting in the stands before the game. We were saying South Carolina was a pivotal must-win game in order to even become bowl eligible,
And
honestly. And
and
look what happened.
it was
Now,
horrible.
now give it to the defense. If you really go back and look at it, as far as a real South Carolina offensive drive, the defense gave up one touchdown and the
Mm-hmm.
2-point conversion. So they gave up 8 points as far as the defense. The rest of the points South Carolina scored are all on the OU offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the turnovers, the penalties, the turnovers on downs, totally unacceptable from a program like Oklahoma that's a Division I football team. At
Mm-hmm.
one point, Jim, in the first quarter, I hadn't even gotten settled from our pregame show from the alumni band and gotten in my seat and kind of got settled and ready to play. Score was already 7-0 because of that interception, you
Mm-hmm.
know. At one point, we had minus 14 yards and had the ball for 32 seconds.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible. I
Mhm.
I guess it just got to the point to where there was nothing to lose. You had to go ahead and get rid of Luttrell. But the OU fans and the OU boards, it just makes me want to shake my head because they were screaming, fire Luttrell, fire Luttrell. Well, Luttrell's gone. Now they're screaming, well, now what are we going to do?
Mhm.
You know, well,
It's
I mean,
uh,
OU fans are fickle. We always known that. They want
mhm.
it both ways. They're like Veruca Salt on the old Willy Wonka. They want what they want and they want it now.
Yeah. It's the shoe is now on the other foot. Right
Yes.
now in the SEC, the bottom three teams are OU, Auburn, and Florida. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that at the start of the season. I mean, you
No.
would say Vanderbilt would be at the bottom, uh, but now the Doors have won a couple of games, one that they shouldn't have against Bama,
Right.
and they come into town the 16th of November, same day that Texas goes to Arkansas.
Hmm.
So uh, it's going to be interesting to see what does transpire between now and then. Uh, but like I say, OU's got to go to the Grove this weekend to Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, and you know Lane's got to be licking his chops.
Oh, I would be if I was
Mm-hmm.
him.
11,
Absolutely.
11 o'clock on ESPN. Uh, the biggest question is going to be, who does Joe John start at quarterback? I got to say, you got to go
Arnold.
back to Jackson Arnold.
It's going to be Arnold. Brent came out yesterday and confirmed that the starting quarterback will be Jackson Arnold.
Because
So,
the kid is not ready. No way, shape, or form.
no.
Needs to redshirt.
Yeah, he
And
should.
uh, he would be a redshirt sophomore because he's played 4 games.
Hmm.
So uh, that's where that's at.
They're just the biggest thing is, Arnold was going to redshirt, but his redshirt got pulled on Saturday after those first three drives by Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you realize that or not,
No, I didn't.
but Jackson Arnold gave up his redshirt just to go into that debacle and try to
Yeah.
salvage what he could out of it.
Yep.
So kudos to him. Kudos to the OU defense, though. That was the big problem under Lincoln Riley. Brought in Brent Venables to fix the defense. I feel like he's done that.
He has done that, but now you got to try to find somebody to fix the offense.
You
Uh,
know, yeah, it's so frustrating because, you know, Sooner fans are just frustrating at times, honestly, Jim, because
yes.
they got mad at Josh Heupel. So he went on, and now look at what he's done at Tennessee.
Yes.
They got mad at Jeff Lebby because of his father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'd do anything to have Jeff Lebby and Dylan Gabriel right now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if Dylan Gabriel could even salvage this offense with
I don't think he could.
no receivers and no line to block for him. Uh,
Yep.
whenever you got a true walk on with the most catches for the day and the most yardage on receptions for the day, you got a problem.
Yep. Sure do. And like I say, the schedule does not get any easier. I
No.
mean, the only other game besides the main game that I think they could win is against an old Big Eight foe, and that's Mizzou.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's at Faroe Field.
Yeah.
Uh, and Mizzou showed that they were a fraud
Mm-hmm.
when they played against Texas A&M, and A&M beat them like a stepchild.
That's right. They
So
did.
uh, we'll see what happens in a couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
we will. We
Mm-hmm.
will. It's wow. I did not think this season would go like this. I really
I
thought they would win 7 or 8 games. It was
I
high.
saw 6-6 at best,
I had
and
my crimson glasses on. I was
yeah,
hoping
you
for
sure
seven.
did.
I was hoping for about 8.
Yeah, that uh, I would sound like Tom Eckert. Ain't happening, baby. Ain't
No
happening.
way.
Nope.
No
Nope.
way. They're going to be lucky to get 6.
Yeah,
Lucky.
they're going to be lucky to be where I said they were going to be 6-6.
Yeah.
Well, your Cougars pulled one out of the hat in the
Wow.
last 10 seconds against
Yep.
Oklahoma State and win 38-35 at home.
Yep.
Uh, then OSU, they've got to go to Waco, and it's homecoming for the Baylor Bears. Uh, if you want to see the game, well, you're going to have ESPN Plus because it's going to be digital uh,
That
at 2:30.
Cougar game. So a cold front came in. They're lucky it wasn't snowing. It was snowing up in the mountains earlier in the day, but it didn't get
Mm-hmm.
down to the valley. Um, it got really cold, though. It was
Oh
in the
boy.
40s. Real football weather. Um, last week I said it was a concern from Cougar fans and Cougar staff because OSU had the bye week
Yep.
and you knew they were getting a different quarterback change. They had 2 weeks to have
To get ready.
Rangel, who had no film on him for the Cougars to watch,
Mm-hmm.
to go in and prepare for that game. And Rangel did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
And had he not gotten hurt, OSU probably would have won that game.
Yep. So who the Cougs got this week?
I don't even know. I'll have to look. Utah's not yet. They're coming up in a couple of weeks. I'd have to look and see who they've got this week.
Well,
I'm not even sure. Let's look real quick.
yeah, we're gonna look here. Uh, they are ranked in the
Yeah, number
top
11.
20.
Yep.
So, in fact, they're number 11. They go to UCF. This,
UCF. That's right. They said that could be another tough game for the Cougs. We'll see.
yeah, sure could. So,
Uh,
but here's
we always say BYU gives you hope and then they crash at the end. So
yeah, we'll see
we'll
what
see.
happens.
We'll see.
You know,
Good luck.
we were talking about rankings there. They're ranked number 11. And I didn't get to touch on it last week uh, in the AP poll. This is the first time since 1960 that Army and Navy are ranked.
Hmm. Wow.
Both of them are undefeated. And they're both now members of the American Athletic Conference, which is the University of Tulsa's conference. Here's what could happen if they keep going undefeated. They could play each other in the AAC championship game
Uh,
before the traditional Army Navy game.
wow.
They could face each other 2 straight weeks.
That's very possible.
Yes.
And who would have ever thought that in your
Nobody.
wildest dreams?
Nobody. I mean,
Nobody would have had that in the calculations. I mean, that's
no,
the
that was
chances of
not
that were
on your bingo
astronomical.
card. There's
No.
no way that's on your bingo card. But that right there is a distinct possibility. Uh, Army was ranked 23rd, Navy was ranked 24th. Like I say, 1960 was the last time that they were in the top 20 back
Hmm.
then. you had to be in the top 20 to be in the rankings. And I mean, we're talking, well, that's before
Yeah.
Staubach.
Yeah, it would
So
have been.
because he won the Heisman in '63.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you how good the military academies used to be back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, speaking about Tulsa, it's also homecoming at Skelly Stadium, and they take on UTSA. The Roadrunners come from San Antonio to take on the Golden Hurricane. It's a 2:30 kickoff. Again, that's a digital game, so ESPN Plus if you want to watch that one. Uh, there are still plenty of tickets that's for sale. I saw the South End Zone's got quite a few available there at Skelly Stadium. And for the first 1,000 fans will get a bobblehead of two members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Steve Largent and Drew Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
And Pepsi is sponsoring it. So first 1,000 happened to get that uh, Steve Largent, Drew Pearson bobblehead. And yeah, Drew is sporting the fro from back when he played for T,
That's great. Love
which
that.
he does not have that now.
Yeah.
But uh, but both
Love
of
it.
them members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it wouldn't be surprising if both of them might be there
That'd be
for the
great
game.
if they were.
Yep, be
Be
there for
great.
the coin toss. That would be
Yeah, that'd be
really.
fun.
Yep.
That'd be good.
Arkansas uh, lost 34-10 to LSU, so the Golden Boot wound up going back to Baton Rouge on the trailer, and now they've got to go to Stark Vegas and take on Jeff Lebby and Mississippi State and the Cowbells.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be SEC Network. That's 11:45 kickoff, just like it was in Norman last week. And for you, that was a slight benefit to
A little bit
get a
better.
little bit.
Uh, Rehearsal was at 6:30 instead of 6 a.m.
Yeah,
So that was a
plenty of
little bit
coffee,
better
I
on us.
hope.
A little bit better on us.
Yeah,
Um, what'd you think about Texas, Georgia?
that was a total surprise.
Was
Uh,
to me too.
uh, Kirby was ready to go, and he is a master like Venables of defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through Texas's offensive line like a hot knife through butter.
They sure did.
And which uh, there was an incident in the game, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
blame this one on Ken Wilkinson, the white hat. He turned the mic on too quick to announce what the penalty was,
Yeah.
and they started throwing the the beer bottles out on the field, which
Yeah.
which are now, thank goodness, they are now
Thank goodness they're
aluminum,
aluminum and not
not
glass.
glass, right?
Yeah.
And but they will pay Georgia
Ooh,
uh, some money because the SEC came down on them. Uh,
come down on them hard.
yeah, I would say that was probably 50 or 100,000, which that now goes, instead of going into the
You
SEC postgraduate
you
fund, it
you
now
heard what it
goes to the school.
you
They
heard
got
what it
violated on.
you heard what it was, right?
No,
Oh, you haven't.
no.
Oh, well, let me tell you. The SEC came down a lot harder than you thought. It was 250,000.
Okay, so it was a second. They did it as a second violation.
Yep. And Texas has to give a report. They have to work with Texas University Police Department and the security and go through the game, the footage, the security footage. And
Mm-hmm.
if they can identify any of the students, those students get their athletic pass pulled for the remainder of the year for all sports.
Yep, and that's what it should be.
Yep, it
It
is.
should be.
That's dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
being in the band, honestly, Jim, I've been the recipient of those things being thrown.
Oh yeah.
It was ice balls at the ice bowl in Stillwater. It was bottles and cans in Boulder at one of the OU Colorado games. In fact, it was numerous things at the Orange Bowl against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's not fun. It's not safe. I mean, I can
Yeah.
remember holding my drum up over my head at times
Mm-hmm.
just to try to block anything that was coming down from the stands. But when we were in Boulder that year, one of our cheerleaders actually got hit with a beer bottle and had to go to the hospital to get stitches.
Mm-hmm.
So
Back then it was glass.
yeah, and it's not safe, and I'm really glad that the SEC is so strict on those things. The
Yes.
Big
Yep.
12, I don't think they're as tough like that.
No.
As you don't got those sportsmanship rules in the Big 12 or those other conferences like you do in the SEC.
Greg
Mhm.
Sankey does not put up with much.
No, and he was there, I
Yes.
guess, at that game.
Yes, he
So
was there.
he
He
saw
was
it in person, and that's probably why it was the extra harshness, I
uh
would assume.
he he had to be there. He had one or two to do. Either that game or the traditional third Saturday in October, which is Tennessee, Alabama.
Hmm.
And Tennessee will get hit because they did storm the field again,
Mm.
beating Alabama. So that's the second time that has happened. But uh, they also, Tennessee gets to smoke the cigars
Yeah.
after the game. So,
Yeah. I
but
just going back, I was watching that Texas game when that started, and one of my Sooner friends that I was watching it with said, "Come on, Texas, don't do that. Keep it classy now." And
yeah, I saw that.
Sark was not happy with the students.
Yeah, he will.
He
It would be interesting to have seen. I've not seen the press conference
haven't
yesterday,
either.
uh, and the reason being is that my good buddy Craig Way, who's the voice of the Longhorns, uh, I don't know if he was there, if he got back from L.A. Uh, fast enough to get to the press conference. Uh, he and his wife Linda uh, were in Los Angeles not to see Craig's beloved Dodgers. He is a Dodger fan deluxe. But they were at the Hollywood Bowl to see Joni Mitchell.
Mm, good,
And
fun.
so they went
Um,
there. He told me, he said, I said, I'm surprised you're not watching your beloved Dodgers. He said, I can get to see them, later. But when are you going to get to see Joni Mitchell? How
never.
much longer? I said, yeah, that's true. And I don't blame him.
um, going back, I just want to kind of go back to Sark for a second.
Yeah.
I'm a Sooner alum.
Oh,
You
yeah, I know you are.
you know how I feel about Texas. They're my biggest rival school.
Mm-hmm.
But
But,
you also know how I feel about Sark.
mm-hmm.
I think Sark is a great coach and a great man, and
Yes.
I have nothing but the utmost respect for him.
Yes.
And I could see by the look on his face, he was not pleased
Mm-hmm.
with the actions of those students in
Yep.
Austin Saturday
Yep.
night.
Yep. Not only the students, but the fans.
Yeah.
yeah, the general fans
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But
That's not, he is a classy guy. I mean, say
yes,
what you want as a Sooner, say what you want about Texas, but you have to admit Sark is a classy guy.
right.
And he's, that's not his modus operandi at
No,
all.
no, no, sure not. Well, I've got something going Friday night. Uh, I get to go to Fayetteville, SEC Network at 8 o'clock. The exhibition basketball game between Arkansas and Kansas.
Oh, that'll be good.
And I was supposed to be up behind the band
Mm-hmm.
doing official stats. Well,
Mm-hmm.
my girl in Bristol, Alex, emailed me this morning and said, "We're moving you to talent stats booth coordinator." So
Oh,
I'm going
wow.
to be, so I'm going to be courtside.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I get to work, pull up my email that she sent me. Uh, get the previous massages. Uh, I will trying to see who in the heck I'm working with. John Schifrin is the play-by-play, and I'm assuming the analyst will be coming from 20 minutes away. Jimmy Dykes. I got to say, Jimmy's going to do color. So that would be a short trip for him, short trip for me.
That's great.
Yep. So
Have fun.
uh,
Good for you.
the question I'm going to, if I see Trey Biddle from one of the uh, social media sites over there in Arkansas, the question I would ask Cal would be, you have always walked down that hallway behind the TV table to walk across to the opposing bench.
Mm-hmm.
And you would get booed and called every name in the book by 20,000. Now, tonight, you walk down the home tunnel to the home bench, and now you're being cheered by 20,000. Uh, what's his reaction going to be to not being booed and being cheered for the first time inside the basketball palace of Mid America? That would be an interesting question
It would be.
and an
It
interesting
would be.
answer. And an interesting answer. So we'll find out. The one good thing I'll get to see with me sitting on the left side of the table, uh, Bill Self will walk right past me
Hmm.
going to the bench. So, and I haven't seen Bill in, well, since the NCAA's
Yeah.
uh, in Tulsa. So, well, let's turn the page and go to high school. And your beloved Tigers with an easy win Friday night against the Memorial Chargers, 56-6. And now,
Yep.
final time to get on the bus for the regular season. And I have to face Dell City, who's pretty darn good.
Yeah. They're turning out to be
Yeah, they're the one that
a
I
little
didn't.
surprise.
Yeah, me too, especially from that side of the state. So uh, they beat the crap out of Collinsville. So I'm just worried that we might get the same treatment. I
Yeah.
hope.
Hope.
But final two games are home. Got Rogers and Hale. We would wind up fourth in the district if we win those two. and then have to face the first place team from the other side.
Hmm.
So that's coming up here. Come November 15th is when the playoffs start.
Wow, already.
Yeah, already. Sequoia lost a heartbreaker to Sperry at home, 26-25.
Hmm.
They play uh, Thursday night at Milton Stadium against the Webster Warriors. Then senior night next week, next Friday night, against the Westville Yellow Jackets, and then finish in Tulsa against Metro Christian. So last time we played, I went to Metro Christian with Sequoia. That's when Braden Scott single handedly beat Metro Christian at the end in the final minute.
Hmm. That was
It,
an exciting one.
that was a big one right there.
Yeah, it was.
Uh, Keys defeated Chelsea 33-14. They've got to go to Adair and take on the Warriors, and that will be their last road game of the season. They get Commerce and Wyandotte for the final four games, and they've got they got to run the table just to get to the playoffs because
Hmm.
they are one and let's see, 1, 2, 3. They're 1-3 right now, so they can't afford another loss, or they'll be getting ready to bounce the basketball. And same way with Hulbert, they are going to wind up out of the playoffs. They're 0-4 in the district, lost 59-34 to the Haskell Haymakers. And Friday night, they've got my old alma mater, the Warner Eagles, coming to town. So won't get to see any of my high school people from down at Warner because I'm going to be in Fayetteville.
I think
So,
I'd rather be in Fayetteville.
yeah, I think I would be too. So, uh, that's where everything comes around as far as high school is concerned. Cross country, they're going to be getting ready to have their regional meets here in about a week or two. Uh, don't know how all of them are doing this year. Uh, I know Tahlequah lost a bunch of people from last year's team, which one of them being McKenna Hood. She's
Hmm.
up at Missouri, Kansas City, running up there, but I think they're redshirting her this year.
Really?
She's getting a she's getting a taste of what college running is because it's a lot longer than uh, what it is in high school, where
Yeah.
it's uh, I believe the girls is 3,200. At least it used to be anyway. It may have went up to 5K, but when you get to college, it's 7,000 meters. So she's ran a couple as a unattached. I know that much, but whether she's running with the varsity right now, I haven't heard. So, but like I say, a couple of more weeks, and there's the regionals, and then of course the state meet is in and around the Oklahoma City area. So,
Hmm.
one thing before we close out here, a couple of weeks ago, well, in fact, I guess it was about 3 weeks ago when Tennessee and OU played.
Yeah.
Uh, saw a thing on online on Instagram. There's a company called Game Time Sidekicks. They're based out of Powell, Tennessee. Well, the I had the win. I took Tennessee, won,
Hmm.
put my name on the wheel of torture, and wound up landing on my name.
Hey, you did good.
And you get your choice of a free tumbler, anywhere from an 8 ounce sippy cup for a kid all the way up to their new 40-ounce cups. Well, you know me, I'm a Razorback fan,
Yep.
and it was supposed to be in here Saturday. And I wound up getting it this morning. It wound up, there was something wrong up at the distribution center in Tulsa. And then it came down here yesterday, didn't get scanned, didn't get in the mailbox, wound up going back to Tulsa, and then came back here about 3 this morning. Well, about 9:30 this morning, this was laying on my front porch, and right there is the 30-ounce uh, tumbler made by Game Time Sidekicks. Now, you're an OU fan. You can get
Mhm.
OU. I mean, you can get in this, you can get white, you can get red. They've got camo if you're a hunter. Uh, there's numerous teams. They've got one, it's red for OU, has OU on this side. Then on this side, it has the SEC logo.
Oh, I would love that one.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And what you do, go on to their Instagram website, Game Time Sidekicks, and they have a game of the week. Pick the winner of that game. If you're right, you get on the wheel and it's spun, and if it lands on your name, they'll let you know, and then you contact them and tell them what you want. So
That's fantastic.
yeah,
How fun.
it's a the 30-ounce tumbler is 36.99. The 40-ounce is 41.99, but it has a holder for it.
Hmm.
So, uh, but they've got 16-ounce, 20-ounce, 30 and 40-ounce tumblers. They've got shakers. They've got a little bit of everything. Uh, if you're an OSU fan, they got plenty of OSU stuff. Uh, Baylor, they've got them. The only ones that I have not seen, uh, they don't have BYU yet.
Hmm.
They don't have Oregon, uh, and they don't have Ohio State,
Hmm.
which is odd. But there's a few that they don't have, but they've got the majority of your favorite team uh, on their website, and you can see what they have to offer. Uh, just took a would have been about 3 or 4 days to come from around the Knoxville area to get here. So if you're interested, give them a chance to uh, get a quality tumbler for your coffee, your tea, which there's going to be unsweet iced tea in mine because I don't drink coffee that much. But I'm pretty happy with what I got. So,
Well, heck yeah.
yeah, I think, like I say, you might want to take a look on their website and see that OU SEC tumbler.
I'm sitting here looking at it right now and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, in in crimson and everything. It's a like I say, they got some good items, and if you uh, give them a chance, and you can get a very nice item from them and support your favorite team.
Yep. Yep. Looking like a good selection of stuff too.
Oh, very good selection of stuff. Oh, they've got a softball one for OU, and it's in softball yellow. So if you're a softball person,
They do have the organ,
they
believe it or
do have
not. They got organ.
they do have Oregon. I didn't see it.
They do have organ.
Hmm.
Yep.
I'll have
No,
to.
no BYU, but they do have
Right.
organ.
Well, you'll have to talk to somebody at Oregon and say, hey, we are at BYU and say, hey, we need to get get on here
Yeah, no kidding.
because they've got everybody. I was looking at Baylor's. And they've got their national championship basketball one, from a few years ago.
Yep.
So along with, not only the men but the women as well, back when Kim Mulkey was there. So,
Yep. Interesting. They don't have BYU. They got the Utah Utes.
mm-hmm.
Looking at them.
Yeah. This one would be good if you are a Tiger fan. Is something like that from
Yeah.
Clemson. Clemson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The oh this would be the one right here. Is the Tiger Paw.
Yep. That's the one I would get if I was a Clemson guy.
I'm thinking Tahlequah
Oh,
because
Tahlequah. Well, yeah, that would
white,
work.
white and orange.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Trim is purple, but that would be for a Tahlequah Tiger fan. You could put the double T on there with the paw.
Mm-hmm. You could.
Yeah. So,
I'll tell
it,
you, I'm there's kind of a cool one called the Campus Icons Tumbler for
mm-hmm.
some of the schools too. I'm looking at
Yes.
Oklahoma's. It's got like drawings of campus and the football
Yes.
stadium on there. That one's kind of
Yes.
cool.
Yes. Like I say, they've got a little bit of everything and they make them there.
Yeah, I
So,
like that one.
yeah. So, I'll tell you what, that's going to do it for this week. And next week, well, we'll talk about how OU has done with the offensive
We'll
changes.
see.
Uh, talk about you might need to get a hold of some of your friends that are going to Oxford. Talk about
Mm-hmm.
the tailgating.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that is, like I've said, down there, when it comes to tailgating, these people are professionals.
Yeah.
In the words of your late brother, Gary, he said he was a professional. Well, these uh, these people, when it comes to tailgating, these are professionals, and the food would be unbelievable. And hope the guys go down there with a set of blinders.
I will tell you, if I was going to the game, I wouldn't even be excited about the game. I would be more excited about the tailgating experience this year,
Mm-hmm.
especially.
Yes, yes, yeah, that would be fun. And also remind them that the speed limit in Oxford, in around the campus, is 18 miles an hour
18. Yep, 18.
because that is Archie's retired number. So,
That's great.
all right, that'll do it for this week. And for my partner out in Provo, Randy Gibson, I'm Jim Trickett. We'll talk next week on the Cover 4 podcast.